And honestly, where I grew up, I probably would be dead and in jail. Due to my society and the things that were going on in my neighborhood, it was easy for me to do drugs or either sell drugs or join the neighborhood gang and just get involved in a lot of criminal activity.
I thought it was normal to just be a kid walking around by myself and seeing abandoned houses and not having food or not having the right clothes or people fighting and shooting gunshots everywhere. I thought that was normal, but that was the environment that I was in. But going to MAM and being at MAM showed me that's our environment, but that's not the norm and that's not how it's supposed to be. MAM was definitely like my first home. I moved around from house to house a lot. MAM gave me a chance to really find out who I was and to really just have a childhood. My coaches were like my parent figures, and the kids I grew up around were like my siblings, and so it was just really big on community for me and led me to Christ.
My definition of MAM is a Christ-centered organization that provides a safe haven for the youth in Memphis. Since 2009, MAM has been nothing but a blessing in my life. From relationship building to me joining Christ, it's just been nothing but excellence.
MAM has meant a lot to me. MAM has been like a place of refuge. Growing up in a single parent home, my mom, working 2 and 3 jobs, MAM has just been. And my mom, she had to raise 3 boys, and without MAM, like, it helped her. So it just made me think of how hard she worked. And my father not being around, it just took guys at the gym to show me how to be a man, show me the right way, because I could have been in the streets like everybody else.
I've seen MAM's impact on our city firsthand. We're in 7 communities, 7 distinct communities. 4 of those were community centers that would have been closed, but the city partnered with us to keep them open. So you have over 700 kids a day in these community centers, in these MAM centers, who have a coach who cares for them, who can be a part of a team, belong to something, and they can be in an environment that's going to accept them for who they are, no matter what race, ethnic background, or religion. We're going to love them all equally. And I've also seen MAM impact our city in that over 20 of our employees right now, of our coaches and our leaders, were MAM kids when they were in elementary, middle, or high school. Leaders such as Drico, Leroy, Kalen, impacting the next generation on a daily basis. I firmly believe that your process determines your product. And so seeing young leaders impact their own community is a way that I've seen MAM impact the city of Memphis for generations to come.
If you've never felt the family like I did, I never felt the love of having a family. It just makes you want to help those kids who were just like me growing up.
Whatever I'm going through in my life, it doesn't have to just be me going through it. I genuinely have people that are beside me that will hurt just as much as I'm hurting whatever I'm going through. MAM taught me what love was by showing me what it is.
Without MAM, I feel like my life could have done a complete 180. I could have been like one of the kids in my neighborhood who sell drugs or been locked up or just doing bad things. Because of MAM, I was able to be around positive older men who showed me how to be a man and showed me that the streets is never the right way to go.
Being the first to graduate out of my family from college or from a 4-year institution was the most memorable, exciting thing that ever happened in my life. I pursued the dream to graduate from the University of Memphis. For me to walk across this stage, for me to be the first to do it, was just awesome.
My happiest moment at MAM was when I graduated and I had my graduation party at MAM. It reminded me that this wasn't the end, and it was so much to come in my life after that.
Now I serve as a full-time youth coordinator at MAM Olivet. I'm able to see the kids that grew up just like me come up through MAM and struggle with some of the same things that I struggled with, or seeing the same things that I've seen. It just catches my attention, catches my heart to want to help those kids who were just like me.
Over 20 years of history I can say that MAM has not done this alone. We've had many partners throughout the years. One thing I would say about our partners is that they're consistent and they're passionate about changing our city. For example, the Grizzlies Foundation, the Grizzlies themselves, we partner in our basketball leagues by providing tickets to kids, tickets to families. We've partnered with My Town Miracles to impact young people such as Drico and Kaylin so that they can have an opportunity to go to college. We've partnered with Huey's. FedEx every year provides opportunities for our children that they normally wouldn't have. There's so many partners across the city that linked arms with us, joined the fight to impact kids and change communities.
MAM is not a place just for sports, but it is a place for reconciliation in a dark city.
Thanks to MAM's support and God's faithfulness, I was able to set a new standard for myself, and now I'm a youth coordinator in MAM Olivet.
20 years for MAM means that there's been a firm foundation laid through many people, many God moments to bring us to this point now so that we can look back and celebrate, so we can be cognizant of what's going on right now in the city with our kids and with our people, but also so we can look forward and we can have a vision for how MAM can impact communities that we're not presently in, and how really MAM can look across the city of Memphis and say every child in Memphis deserves the opportunity to be a part of MAM. My prayer for MAM in the next 20 years is that we enlarge the scope of our vision and our impact, that we're in Whitehaven and Frazier and Raleigh, and that there's not a corner of Shelby County, Memphis City, that MAM doesn't have the opportunity to impact kids on a generational level. Because I firmly believe that our kids make my life rich. It's not so they can just walk through our door and I can say we have 1,000 kids a day. It's because if you get to know these kids, knowing them and seeing how unbelievable, how gifted, how talented, allowing them to love you, it'll change your life. As you think about MAM and you think about the last 20 years, think about the next 20. We know that with our partners, with your help, we know with our 20-year foundation that was laid, that we can change this city to go into the next 20 years and impact thousands of more kids.